It's like it's a different person. I really don't know that girl.
She's pretty good.
Thank you.
But so what was it like having that dance created around you?
Well, that wasn't the one that was created really around me. You know, that was
Carousel was around you.
Yeah, Katja Sageva did that role originally. And they would have given it to me, except I was too young. I looked about 12 years old, and they said, no, she can't do that. So they made me a little girl in Oklahoma. And they kind of capitalized on that. They said, oh, now we've got a kid. So they had jokes and, things that went on through the show with the little girl. And that was, it was great for me. It was my first time. I had never done, I was really, really green. So I remember Joan McKracken saying when we were out of town, she said, this is going to be a flop. And I said, well, what does that mean? What's a flop? And she said, well, we're not going to make it to Broadway. And I said, I don't care. We're working now. We're having fun. So when we finally got into New York, the opening night, that was a very interesting opening night because it was not sold out. And I don't know who went out with the hooks, but they got all the servicemen to fill in the audience, to, all the empty seats. And they loved it, and of course, so it was a great success. And then the reviews came out, and we were in with Flynn. That was great. So.
Am I right that both you and Jemsy sort of became part of her repertory company, right? You would go into Oklahoma, and then you would stay?
No.
I mean, it just that she used you in other shows.
Yeah, but did we meet one another in the class, acting for dancers? She had a class, this was when we were really young. She had a class that she taught up at Studio 61, at Miss Lee's studio. And Miss Lee said, you gotta go in this class, you gotta learn how to act. So we went in, and Agnes, we had taken ballet class with. She was just one of the girls, and we struggled away in plies, etc. And she said, okay, make a big circle. And she said, now you're going to walk around in the circle. No music. You're going to walk around in the circle, and it's raining. Now act like it's raining, and you're getting wet. And we did that. And then she said, now the rain has turned to sleet. Now it's really snowing and you're freezing. And now suddenly the sky has changed and it's beautiful and the sun is coming and you're getting warm. In fact, you're getting too warm. And that's the way we learned to act. That was her acting class. And then there was another exercise. We'd get in the corner of the room, we had to run across, and there was something awful, absolutely awful in that corner. We didn't want to go, but we had to go. And then we had to react to that. And we had to, we didn't know what we were doing. We just, And she said, okay, that's all right, And she'd do exercises like that. And she picked us, I'm sure she picked us out of the group and a couple of other people when she got Oklahoma. And did you stand in the lineup?
No, not for Oklahoma.
For Oklahoma. Well, we stood in the lineup, and Diana Adams was my friend. We were like the Gold Dust twins. We were like that. And she was tall and beautiful and thin, and I was small and dumpy and had piano legs. And we're standing next to one another, cheerful and thinking, oh, Agnes is going to get us in. And at that point, I think there was 5 days if you were picked, you had 5 days of trial. And also, I've forgotten who the choreographer was, but they were all dance, tap dancers and in all the different shows. In Pal Joey, they were all, beautiful, leggy people. And of course, Rogers liked the legs. And he said to, Diana got in like Flynn. And I was standing there and he said, we can't have that one. She's too short. She's got those awful legs. No, we won't have her. And Agnes says, oh no, You've got to have her. She's number one. She's got to be in my company. So she fought for me. So we get in the company, and we're waiting these 5 days, and we're working away. And I thought, I wonder if I'm going to make it, you know? And we did. We did. But a lot of the people who, I don't know who picked them, but it certainly wasn't Agnes. They were the showgirls and all. And she said, well, I'll keep a couple of them. She had to keep a couple of them. And she said, I'll try to make them dance. And she had them, they were kind of in the background. They didn't do too much. You notice in the ballet there, they flit across and all. Well, those were the girls. The dancers got to dance. Well, I want to argue one point with you. You said that something about the acting was more important than the dance steps.
The steps were irrelevant, is what I said.
No. You're absolutely wrong about that. The steps were very important. And if you see some productions that Jemsy has not done, you'll see how important, because they don't know the walking, and they don't know what a bell means. You know, a bell is a very important motion, and you got to do it right, and you got to do it with verve, and the slides. And if you don't know how to slide, or the intent of sliding, why you're going there, it's all important. It's, of course, the acting is important, but it's the movement that gets you there. So
I stand corrected.
Yeah,
But,
I disagree with you.
but I was on a panel last week, and Liza Gennaro said something about Agnes de Mille, which I thought was fascinating, and I want to ask the whole panel and see who wants to respond to it. She said that Agnes de Mille made up steps, and then she would kind of corrupt them. Part of what Agnes de Mille did was to create a new vernacular in dance, and then once created, kind of twist it and turn it. Is Liza wrong? Does that mean anything?
I think she did make up steps.
Oh, I think she made up steps too. She would watch, if she saw a dancer do something, she'd say, that's good, we'll keep that in, we'll try that. But as far as corrupting, no, I think what she tried to do is to make the dancer who was doing that step understand where it came from and why they were doing the step. If that's corrupting it, maybe it, because if you give me a step and then I will start doing it and I will corrupt it maybe, I will change it. And if she approved it, then it's corruption.